so sick of reality TV. I'm so tired.
Good morning, everybody. It's Rita Smith, the #1 food fairy, and I am going to show you today how to make eggs caprese. I just got the recipe for this year. It was deposited in my email box, I think from All Recipes. Might have been from somewhere else, but anyway, wow, I woke up one day and here's a recipe in my mailbox, eggs caprese. I made it for my dad and he loved it so much. I think he ate it every day except for 2 days while he was here in October. And then again for Dave and May and Tom in December. And it is apparently like the hands down favorite breakfast recipe that I have now. So here is a caprese salad, the traditional caprese salad contains tomatoes, mozzarella cheese, and basil. That's it. And a bit of oil dressing. That's it. Okay, eggs caprese kind of riffs on that. So there are fresh tomatoes, and I have some beautiful ripe ones here. We don't actually have basil. We're going to use pesto from my garden. That is what the recipe calls for, pesto. And I did make this from basil I grew myself. It really adds to the flavor. Mozzarella cheese, of course. And then added to the eggs are some ham. I'm going to use capicola right now because that's what I have. It's Christmas. I bought special cold cuts. Normally, I just use regular ham. And I melt the cheese on top of it. You'll see how I do that. And an English muffin, okay? So those are the ingredients. English muffin, tomato, egg, mozzarella, ham, and pesto. There'll be just a drop of olive oil in which I fry everything, and salt and pepper, okay? So this was a very popular recipe every day of this Christmas season. I think I made it 7 days out of 8, and one day I made it twice. So I think if your family loves it as much as my family did, it'll be a really popular recipe. I will switch the camera over so I can shoot the frying pan and show you actually how this is done. It's really quick and simple. If I was doing it for 12 people, I would use a different method. I'd probably light my broiler, but I'm just going to show you how to do it once, and then you can figure it out how to do it for 4 people or 6 people or 8 people or whatever, okay? Just in case nobody's ever told you that to get the best, toastiest, crispiest English muffin, here I'm going to show you. You don't cut it with a knife, although when I'm in a rush, I do cut it with a knife. But the best way to get the most ridges and valleys to absorb the butter, or the olive oil, the pesto, the flavor, whatever you're putting onto your English muffin, is to fork it apart. So if you're only doing a couple of muffins, it doesn't take, just a couple of seconds to fork it apart. And then what happens is you get these beautiful bumps and ridges, which when you toast it, they come out all nice and toasty, and whatever you're putting into the English muffin is absorbed more effectively. So you fork it apart. When I'm doing this like a fast, I take a steak knife, a serrated knife, and I just cut them in half. But if you can take the time to fork them apart, they're better, okay? So I am going to put this in my toaster and toast it till it's golden, and it will be sitting, waiting ready for the eggs caprese when they are ready to come out of the pan. If this were summer or fall and I had a big giant beefsteak tomato, I would just take one thick slice of a beefsteak tomato, like just a nice big slice of tomato that's just about equal to the bread that I'm using, and use that for this recipe. But it's not summer, and I'm using these little Capri tomatoes. They're beautiful and ripe. I bought them ahead of time and I let them ripen on my table. So what I've been doing this Christmas is using these as the tomato element of the caprese sandwich. If I had a beefsteak tomato, I'd use it, but these are pretty good. Like they've been quite delicious. So I just slice them into about a quarter of an inch, the best I can manage, and those will go onto the sandwich as we lay it out. So now we're over at the frying pan, and I am going to Add just a drop of olive oil. Doesn't need to be very much at all, really, hardly any olive oil. Okay, we'll let that warm up. And then I'm gonna toss into the pan the ham. As I said earlier, normally I use just ham, like, you know, the kind of lunch meat ham you get from the deli, or I like Black Forest ham, that's normally what I buy. But today I have Capicolo, so I'm going to toss the Capicolo into the pan. I'm actually gonna double it up, like I'm just gonna do 2 pieces of that, and we'll let it start to sizzle. Not for too long, you know, maybe like 30 seconds, 45 seconds at the max. And then as that starts to sizzle, I'll flip it. I'm going to put the mozzarella on. I will say that Kraft has a beautiful product, Italiano, what do they call it? Italiano mix. It has 4 different kinds of cheeses in it, and it's shredded, pre-shredded. You buy it in the bag. It's very easy to use. I don't have any of that right now, so I'm just using straight up mozzarella. I'm going to let the ham fry and the mozzarella soften while we wait for the English muffin to toast. I could even put a lid on it to kind of speed the process up. Okay. We're going to let that cook for just not very long at all, like a minute and a half at the most, you know, not very much at all. And I always have a plate ready to take the ham out, because the ham is usually ready before anything else. Just going to let the cheese is melting. The ham is frying together at the same time. You don't need to do it in 2 separate processes. Okay, that's as cooked as that needs to be. So I'm going to take that out. That's my Capicolo and my mozzarella melted onto each other. It's like they're hugging, eh? The ham and the cheese, it's like they're hugging. Get off of there. Okay, so I put that onto the English muffin, which I've toasted. I'm going to set that over here, and then I'm going to fry the egg. I might just put because I took so much oil out of there, I might just put another little drop of oil in there. Okay. So let that warm up. Here comes the egg. 1 egg per sandwich. I do not think you would get more than 1 egg per sandwich. You'd have yolk running all over the place. We're just going to let that fry, and I'll be right back. I broke the yolk, and I'll explain to you why as I'm putting this together. I broke the yolk, and I'm now going to flip the egg, because I like it to be flipped once. Or as my mother would have said, once over lightly. Okay, I like it to be once over lightly with a broken yolk. Get over there. Okay. We'll let that cook for a couple of seconds more, and that is what we will put on the Capicolo with a melted mozzarella. Here is the toasted English muffin, just in a toaster, nothing fancy. The bottom has the piece of Capicolo, 2 pieces of Capicolo, with mozzarella cheese melted on top of it. What I'm going to do before I put the egg on the dish is put as much tomato as I can. I think that's as much tomato as I can. And then on top, if it was 1 big slice, that'd be even better, but this is what I got for January, December. So now I'm gonna take the pesto and put some pesto. Just thawed out of my freezer. I didn't do anything special to it. I made it last summer, and then I froze it, and then I thawed it, okay? So you don't have to fry the pesto or put it on anything hot or whatever. Okay, so that's the pesto that goes on top of the tomatoes. And then I'm gonna put the egg. Ooh, I'll fold it. I'll try to make the size of the egg match the size of the bread to the best of my ability. I did give a little sprinkle of salt and a little sprinkle of pepper to the egg while it was cooking. Okay. So now I have a sandwich, which is English muffin, mozzarella, capicola, tomato, pesto, and egg. And I made, God, I think I made like 48 of these over the Christmas season. You would think I should be super, super, super fast at this. I figured out how to make 4 of them at the same time quite quickly. I'm not going to bother to show you that. But if you like this recipe, if you enjoy the recipe, then you can, toast all the English muffins at the same time under the broiler. You could do 8 eggs at the same time in the pan. You could do it faster than I've done it here, but this is just one. And I like, honestly, it was the most popular thing I made all year. So this is an eggs caprese breakfast sandwich with tomato, pesto, capicola, mozzarella, and an English muffin. And I hope your family loves it as much as my family did. And Happy New Year. There you go. Eggs caprese. Have fun cooking. Be confident in the kitchen. Rita Smith, the #1 food fairy.
I'm so sick of reality TV. I'm so tired of my girlfriend ignoring me. I sure could use a little bit of company, some time away from all the wannabe.